This time on Art Rocks, a library exhibit introducing young people to giants in central Louisiana's African-American history. These stories right now on Art Rocks.
West Baton Rouge Museum is proud to provide local support for this program on LPB, offering diverse exhibitions throughout the year and programs that showcase art, history, music, and more. West Baton Rouge Museum, culture cultivated. Accommodations provided by Hotel Bentley and Condos in Alexandria, Louisiana, a hotel steeped in traditions and history since 1908. More at visithotelbentley.com.
Art Rocks is made possible by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and by viewers like you.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Art Rocks with me, James Fox Smith from Country Roads Magazine. Today we're off to Alexandria. The central Louisiana city has a population of just over 40,000, more than 50% of whom are African American. And the history of the city and its surrounding Rapides Parish has been profoundly shaped by their accomplishments. Alexandria artist and retired educator Taft Thomas has joined forces with area artists and with the Rapides Parish Library system to showcase the achievements of Black Alexandrians. At Martin Luther King Library, next to Peabody High School, they've assembled a portrait gallery that introduces some of the city's most accomplished Native sons and daughters.
My main portion was trying to get someone to do the work, could bring some impetus to it to make sure that when individuals came to visit the library, that they could focus on contribution by someone who has skill and knowledge to bring out the inner being of the individuals who have made a major contribution to society and to this community. It is designed to inspire people from this community. Larry Douglas Smith was painted by Cabo. Larry Smith, one of the most brilliant, unusual young men that I've met. He was the first Afro-American that served as the warden of the Angola Penitentiary. He has also been well trained and versed in the judicial system. He worked with several governors. He brought the first 100 black men to the Baton Rouge area. And their main objective was to try to stop crime and try to work with young people to give them a better chance in life. They visit schools, they work with them, they saw them on the streets, and they talk to them. It consists of medical doctors, people in education, law enforcement, clergy, and all those different individuals. He brought them together. He was an honor student at Peabody High School, and he attended school at Baton Rouge, went to Southern University, and he went on and got advanced degrees, and he's doing exceptionally well. He was the pastor here for 19 years, Rose the Sharon Missionary Baptist Church. He returned back to Baton Rouge after illness in the family. And he always was a member of Shiloh, a Missionary Baptist Church. He served as associate pastor at Shiloh Baptist Church in Baton Rouge.
Honor Wendell Bonton was born in 1902. He was an author, a poet, an educator, and he was part of the Harlem Renaissance era. I was very interested when I was presented with the project, and I was given Honor Bonton to paint.
James Prestidge was painted by Cabo. I know him as Dr. Prestidge. He received several degrees in addition to a PhD in education and biology. He worked in Baton Rouge at Southern University as a chancellor one time. Also at Prairie View. He went to Prairie View and had the same credentials and things that he did there as well. And so he's very versed in the field of education in different venues, an exceptional man. He married his homegirl, Jewel. They both had similar credentials academically, and they were true academians, without any question. Jewel first was painted by Edward Barnes. Jewel received a PhD at Howard University, and she's the first black female to receive that particular honor there. Jewel was chairman of the political science department at Southern University. In addition to that, she had a commission to work with President Jimmy Carter. Carter had her to do several things involving young women.
Mr. Oliver Overton is a Peabody graduate. He also graduated from the Teamsters Labor Union. He was president, I think, of Local 83, and he retired from there, and now he is a police juror in the Rapides Parish government. He has been very active with the police jury. Joseph Anthony Pearson painted Mr. Overton.
Amos Wesley is a Tuskegee Airman, painted by Joseph Anthony Pearson. He did go to school at Tuskegee. He was in World War II. He was born in 1914. Amos Wesley said he wasn't too concerned about becoming a pilot, but he enjoyed working on aircrafts, so that's what he did. Most of the planes he worked on or worked with was C-59 Mustangs. They had a red tail painted, and also the wings were painted. And the rationale for that, there was not too much trust in the airmen for being black at that time, but they were allowed to serve as escorts for the bomber planes during World War II. And finally they proved themselves, so they were allowed to take action in World War II. Wesley returned to Alexandria, and he worked at Peabody School. He taught auto mechanics during that time. Trina Lloyd was a colonel. She was painted by Carl Gibble. She's over one of the battalions in the state of Louisiana. One of the unique things about her, she received numerous awards, and one for Afghanistan. She had been over there. She had about 13 or 14 major awards. J.B. LaForgue was painted by Carbo. Peabody School was named for him. Not him, but a philanthropist by the name of Peabody donated X number of dollars to the training school that the students were attending at the time. LaForgue was born in Rapides Parish. His mother was a slave. The stepfather adopted him, and he was home taught because during that time they stressed education. He had almost a Jewish degree as a kid because they taught him law as well. And then when he and his family moved up here, this is when he opened up several schools as well as a newspaper.
Mr. David Faxton Isles was painted by Dr. Clarence Talley. Mr. Isles was a student of Peabody. Mr. Isles left here, Alexandria, to go to high school at Leland College in Baker, Louisiana. There he completed high school and continued on to college at Leland College. He came back to Alexandria to become a social studies teacher at Peabody High. After that, he became assistant principal, and after that, he became principal, where he stayed for 35 years. He did have quite a reputation at Peabody High School. He was responsible for a lot of the academics. He brought in different classes that we could take that was different from any of the other courses that Peabody had prior. So we were very proud of Mr. Isles. After his retirement, he went over to the Rapides Parish School Board and subsequently retired from there.
Juan Pierre was painted by Cabro. Juan was probably one of the most productive young kids with a baseball at an early age that you ever seen. He was fast. Of course, he did run track in school. He could steal. He could read the pitches, the eyes, etc. First baseman, he would take off. During his career, he stole over 690-some bases. He had the experience of working with about 6 different major teams. Of course, one was the Dodgers. One of his last contract was over $6.5 million.
Dr. Ramel C. Wren is a distinguished heart surgeon specialist based in Fairbanks, Alaska. Joseph Anthony Pearson did the painting of Dr. Wren. Dr. Wren was educated in private and public schools in Rapides Parish, namely St. James Catholic School, and then graduating with honors from Bonton High School with his focus on cardiac surgery. Dr. Wren plays a crucial role in providing life-saving interventions and improving the overall cardiovascular health of his patients. Dr. Wren is recognized as being one of the top surgeons in his field. Dr. Clarence Talley Sr. is a native of Alexandria and a 1969 graduate of Peabody High School. Dr. Talley is a distinguished artist, earning recognition for his accomplishments and has made substantial contributions to the rich culture of African American art. In addition to Dr. Talley being a fine artist, he is also the senior pastor of Corinth Missionary Baptist Church in Heavenly Hempstead, Texas.
Natalie Theel grew up here in Alexandria. She attended Peabody High School. All the family are singers. The dad can sing, and Natalie used to sing as well, and Sherman is also a singer. She's very talented. She liked drama and things from being a little girl. She went to Grambling and she pursued a career in that, and she did exceptionally well. She played in Brandy, Whoopi Goldberg. She had some experience with that, and several others major stars. She also appeared in several sitcoms as well. She's an all-around individual, well-loved, and was a first-class actress, and she did exceptionally well. She died young.
When Mr. Thomas and Miss Karen Riley Simmons approached me about the possibility of this project, I was incredibly enthusiastic. I saw the potential and I saw the opportunities not only to showcase the history and the success of this community, but to give hope and inspiration for the next generation of students who are literally across the parking lot from us. Libraries are community hubs. This will be a permanent exhibit. We are very fortunate to have many very talented and gifted artists, researchers, authors, various individuals who have made significant contributions to society on a regional, state, and national level here in our community. So it's going to be an ongoing exhibition that we anticipate growing in leaps and bounds over the coming months and years, and hopefully decades.
If the turnout for the portrait's unveiling is any indication, the people of Alexandria take pride in their city's legacy of black achievement. It's estimated that more than 500 came for the unveiling, even though many had to stand, and others listened from their cars, where speakers were set up to broadcast the ceremony.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's quite an act to follow, isn't it? Well, I'm a verbose person. I've been out of the way. Thank you for sharing that moment in history with us as we celebrate the unveiling of 13 original portraits that were painted by 6 professional master artists from across the nation.
I thank y'all for taking out the time to come today to help us honor the past and inspire the future. Yes. Every one of us in here today, and those that couldn't make it, were given and born with a talent that even if you didn't know it then, it was something speaking in you that was brought to life, that was to uplift and encourage the next person.
It's phenomenal. Honestly, it's humbling. It leaves me at a loss for words because, you give so much of yourself back to service for the state, for the nation, and to see that people that you love and people that you grew up looking up to recognize that effort. It's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. The significant contributions from all of those that were nominated that are actually portraits were selected to be hung there. It brings you back to, as a child, with your grandparents, making sure that you're studying with counsel to what you study, and the reading up on Bonton, different local heroes and nationalist heroes, and that as a young black child that he looked up to be on the wall next to some of them that are role models, that have been role models, but not only myself, but for all of us that have grown up in this community.
The individuals who are now standing in front of you are responsible, as I said, for today and for this project going forward. They, though, were only able to make this possible because of all of you. They put to feet a long-held and long-desired commitment from the community and contributions from the community that made today possible and the future possible. So Give yourselves and them a round of applause.
Across Louisiana, museums and galleries are presenting exhibitions that shed new light on our home state. So here are some notable exhibitions coming soon to museums or galleries near you. For more on these exhibitions and others, consider Country Roads Magazine, available in print, online, or by e-newsletter. To watch or re-watch any episode of Art Rocks again, just visit lpb.org/artrocks. There you'll also find all of the Louisiana segments available on LPB's YouTube channel. And now to Cleveland, Ohio, to experience the glasswork of Earl James and learn about the process of creating it. One of Mr. James's passion projects is the annual creation of glass sculptures, which will be presented to recipients of the Anisfield Wolf Book Awards. The awards honour written works that contribute to better understanding of racism and our appreciation of the rich diversity of human culture.
So first thing is we put a pipe up to get it nice and warm. So there's the pipe warmer there. This is the glory hole here, which is where we do all the reheating. Once the pipes are ready, we'll go to the furnace and we'll gather glass from there. The temperature in the furnace is somewhere around, I think 1900, 1950. This is my third year of making the Anisfield Wolf Book Awards. It's fun, but it's also a little bit, you want to impress, you know, and I try to do my best to make something of what they're asking for, and there's recognition that the writers are getting, and this is a gift just as a reminder, I think, of what they're offering. So I tried not to make some big impressive thing or something too small, but just something that you can put on a shelf, but they can also see it as an art piece. As much as I may engrave something on it, I'd still like it to have something that's attractive to look at. So that's how I approach it. One thing that was mentioned was a little reflection of the cover image or the color on the cover, which makes sense, you know, so I took it and ran with it. We'll look inside the book too and try to find something that sort of speaks to us and say, all right, we'll hit the book cover idea with color and maybe some patterns, but then what else is there that may give it a little bit of us, you know? I mean, it's my design, it's my look, but still what I take away from the book a little bit, I hope somebody can see that in what I put into the piece. Color has always been important, and I felt good about color and glass, which is color and light really brings it to life. It was easy to do it, but if I had to paint something, it turns gray, so I can't paint, but I can make it work, in my opinion, in my glass work. And so I've become more enamored with more forms and simpler lines, not as decorative a surface. Start to put the colors on now. So a lot of the pieces I start out with a white base. It's almost like a canvas to work on, so a lot of the colors will pop against it, and then we'll speckle, put a little bit of this and that to give it some depth. So that's what all these splotches of colors are. Like the book Horse, a lot of it, the face cover is sort of a salmon color on the face with a lot of pastoral feel to me when I see it. And so that's what we're going to be trying to make this time, the one that sort of reflects that book. I feel really good about it, and I've seen when they receive their gifts, it's almost like they weren't expecting to get something in addition to their speeches. They may already, and it's on the table. So, but it's always something that they're holding, and that's something I made, and so that part reflects first. I made that, and that person, is holding it. All right, let's cool it down so we can find our spots. So we'll look for a presentation face. We'll flatten opposite that face so that what you're looking at is the side we choose. So we'll need to cool it down enough to see the colors. It always looks so nice when it's all this orange-red glow. Almost there. I think we're good. I was born in Jamaica. I was about 10 years old when we moved here to Rochester, New York. And that's where I grew up. How I got here, so I went to school at the Cleveland Institute of Art. Glass was my major, with a minor in sculpture. It was different. I had never seen glass before, and I saw them making glass in there, and I thought that is the most amazing thing. It's one of those things that kind of gets your heart racing when you see that fluidity and it's hot. It's almost like watching someone pour bronze or metal, and it's just hot soup that will become something solid. So it was taking that mass of product or thing and just not forcing it, but just coaxing it into something, and when they were blowing glass and the paper and the smoke and all that, and it was just beautiful to watch. I love the material, I love the process, I love the making of it. People say, they look and it's like, oh my God, that looks so difficult. And there's something to be said about that. But in all these crafts, it's a skill. There's a skill base to it, that you learn it and you can keep learning it. I just figured I'd be making work till my days are done, some form or another.
While we're in the area, let's take a visit to the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio to catch an exhibition titled Distinctly Paramount, Fashion and Costume from the Paramount Pictures Archive. A wide assortment of Hollywood garments from both film and television were on display for the public to see, but definitely not to touch.
This collection is something I've never put together before. There's 75 costumes in this piece, and it is basically a showcase for costumes that were purchased and used on camera and costumes that were created in a workroom. And a lot of times museums, they don't exhibit costumes that are purchased, but I think they're just as important as to the designer's sense of style and what they wanted to choose to represent the actor or represent the character in the film or television show, because we do have television pieces here. This gallery has all of our black motifs. So when you first step in here, we have Joan Collins from Dynasty. This was one of the festival costumes that she wore as Queen Elizabeth. It is a bit taller than Joan Collins, but you still get the drama. What I love about this is all of these pearls are hand sewn on. This is not fabric that was already made, all hand sewn. This gallery is where we have our solids. This dress was designed by Naeem Khan and was worn by Beyonce in the film Dreamgirls. The costume designer for Dreamgirls was Sharon Davis, and Sharon did a remarkable job on the costumes, but this dress was worn in the very final scenes of the film. This exhibit took me approximately a year and a half to really assemble, because I added, I subtracted, I added again, I subtracted more. And I was heavily influenced by the Bill Cunningham coffee table book, which documents from the 1960s through the 2000s. And Bill Cunningham, if you're not familiar with him, rode his bicycle around either New York or Paris, taking candid photographs, and in doing so, of people just in their wardrobe. Welcome to the lower level of the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. And down here, we have a very small but important exhibit of elements from the film Rocket Man. Now, Rocket Man, the costume designer, was Julian Day. And of course, if you don't know, it's about Elton John. So we'll start with this pair of ankle boots, and these were worn by Taron, who played Elton John. Now, there is a whole story and a whole thought process behind these boots. He wore these boots during the number Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, which of course is about the Wizard of Oz. So his blue suit represented Dorothy, his silver shirt represented the Tin Man, he was wearing a faux fur coat which represented the lion, and he was wearing a straw fedora which represented the Scarecrow. These shoes are Swarovski crystals, all of them. And these are beautiful. Of course, they represent the ruby red slippers. I want people to take away from this an appreciation for the work and the thought that goes into costuming a film. Not just the work from the workroom, but even on the pieces that are purchased, the thought that goes into purchasing that piece and how that expresses the character and defines the character that they are being worn by. Whether it's a big party scene and it's a party dress, or whether it's a blouse. And I think people will get that going through here and seeing the wide variety of pieces we have in the exhibit.
And that is that for this edition of Art Rocks. Don't worry though, more episodes of the show are always available online at lpb.org/artrocks. And if you love discovering stories like these, Country Roads Magazine makes a useful guide for learning what's taking shape in Louisiana's cultural life all across the state. Until next week, I've been James Fox Smith, and thank you for watching.
West Baton Rouge Museum is proud to provide local support for this program on LPB, offering diverse exhibitions throughout the year and programs that showcase art, history, music, and more. West Baton Rouge Museum, culture cultivated. Accommodations provided by Hotel Bentley and Condos in Alexandria, Louisiana, a hotel steeped in traditions and history since 1908. More at visithotelbentley.com.
Art Rocks is made possible by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and by viewers like you.